good afternoon, and thank you very much for having me today to present my company and my product. My name is Sina Faridimehr. I'm a founder and CEO at Enerytics. We are a technology startup company based in Maryland, and our mission is to facilitate the adoption of grid interactive efficient buildings across the state. We are supported by Maryland Energy Innovation Accelerator, which is the MCEC arm of startup community, and the Impulse program, which is Tech to Market program at DOE Building Technologies Office. So as you already know, building owners, commercial building owners are under significant pressure to manage and optimize their energy consumption. There are increasing electricity costs in many states, and they are facing a lot of local and state emission reduction goals, tough goals that they need to address in the next few years. And for many of these commercial buildings, up to 30% of their operating expenses are related to energy consumption. And we know that many commercial buildings, they're not operating as they designed to do. And after being commissioned, they start seeing some deterioration in their performance and in their operation. And basically, these building owners, commercial building owners, they don't have a sustainable and efficient tool to deal with this energy management. The current building control system and building automation system, they are rule-based with predetermined schedule. It's not customized based on their building type, their climate, and other factors. They are reactive, predominantly reactive, with limited data analysis capability. They are not designed to manage peak demand, and they are not able to balance the trade-off between multiple, often conflicting objective function like energy consumption reduction, peak demand reduction, and carbon emission reduction. So what we provide is an AI-powered solution called GridAlign for building a control system that makes them automated by providing data analytics capability, which is analyzing and studying the patterns and trends of operational data that is being collected across the building and across the facility. By doing AI-driven forecasting of energy demand, on-site energy generation, electricity price, and weather patterns, and automated optimization of energy demand, the use of power from the grid and from the on-site generation, and discharge of battery storage on-site. So we take a holistic optimization across all the demand and supply technologies in facilities, in commercial and industrial facilities, to manage and optimize energy consumption. So basically, GridAlign takes a commercial building to the next level of energy optimization. Generally, buildings have utility bill management system. The next level, they have some sub-metering infrastructure to collect more and more data across the building and across the facility. Some of them, they install more advanced building automation system and maybe fault detection and diagnostic system for operation and maintenance. And GridAlign would take the building to the next step, providing more energy saving and more grid benefits by making automated decisions on how and when to use energy to basically schedule energy demand across the building, make automated real-time decision on when to buy power from the grid, when to use on-site generation, when to store it, and when to feed back extra energy that is stored to the grid for grid benefits. And why is it important now? It's because power grid is facing a lot of supply and demand balancing issues across the state. Many utilities are facing that issue. And in summer 2023, 2/3 of North America was at risk of high electricity demand. And it is estimated that the peak demand across the United States is growing by 8% between 2023 and 2030. We have done a proof of concept in an office commercial building in Berkeley, California. The building is comprised of different technologies, HVAC system, office technologies, and lighting system. We also assume that there are some solar on-site generation panels and battery storage on site. The data was collected between 2018 and 2020 for 3 years for 2 office floors, each around 2,500 meters square. And there are 57 thermal zones across the building that the data was collected. And you see a pattern of daily average of energy demand for different sort of usages, HVAC system, lighting system, and miscellaneous, which is more or less office technologies and office equipment for different days across these 3-year data. So the first step, we got the data, we did some processing, cleaning, make the data ready for analytics and AI forecasting. That data was used to basically estimate real-time energy demand, weather patterns, solar generation, and electricity price estimation. And those forecasts were used to do automated optimization on scheduling flexible demand, which is the HVAC system in this building, the use of on-site generation, and the charge-discharge schedule for battery storage for this commercial building. So here you can see that on top, you see some plots for a typical summer day. And on the bottom, you see the plot for energy demand for a typical winter day. And you see that on the right side, we are comparing the HVAC schedule for a typical summer day on the top and a typical winter day on the bottom. And you see that compared to original schedule, we are able to find some opportunities to shift demand and find some basic opportunities to turn off HVAC while we are meeting the operational needs of the building and comfort needs of the occupants across the commercial buildings. And you see that we are shifting basically the demand from peak times, which is between 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. in Berkeley, California, to some off-peak time, if that is required to meet the operational needs. And here you can see that the optimal schedule for a typical summer day, how the supply of energy demand for the building is determined. So you can see that throughout the day, in the middle of the day, that we have more solar generation. Building is powered more from the solar system. And if there is less solar, we are powering from the grid. And that is basically the optimal schedule in order to minimize the cost. And here is another schedule, the battery storage charge slash discharge for the on-site storage system. On the top plot, you see 15-minute interval schedule when to charge the battery storage from the grid, when to charge it from the solar system, and when to discharge it to the grid for extra energy that is being stored to make some revenue from the utility arbitrage. And on the bottom, you see how the electricity price, the real-time 15-minute electricity price was estimated. And we provide this schedule on real-time basis by considering operational constraints like battery storage capacity, building needs, grid conditions, weather forecasts, and electricity price estimations. So through this holistic optimization, we are able to reduce energy consumption by 25%. We are able to reduce peak demand by 11%, and we are able to reduce monthly bill by 10% by doing utility arbitrage. So these are the values that we're providing to these commercial buildings through our software, GridAlign. Here is our team. We are a team of AI scientists and building automation system specialists. We have worked for multiple Fortune 500 companies, and we are now working together to design and develop this product to be marketed for commercial and industrial buildings across the state. Again, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity, and I would be happy to answer any questions that you would have.
Sina, great job. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you making time to do your presentation. I really appreciate it. Learned a lot. Got a couple of questions.
Of course.
So you're based in Maryland, as am I, and I'm sure you're very familiar with the Maryland Climate Solutions Now Act, the most aggressive climate law in the country, right?
Yes.
I don't know about you, but most building owners and corporate tenants that I know of don't even know that the law exists.
Yes.
And those that do know about it aren't aggressively looking at this as an opportunity. They're looking at it as total chaos for the most part. I'm a member of a few building associations where unfortunately they're kind of suing the Maryland Department of Environment because this is all happening too fast. And I think one of the biggest challenges, because our industry is the least digitized, declining in productivity, and has a strong resistance to change. So what would you say is your kind of number one barrier to adoption? Is it a return on investment, kind of the payback period of it all, or is it first cost that's holding building owners back from embracing your solution? What would you say is the biggest barrier?
So you mentioned that very, very correctly that the first barrier, not only it is from limited knowledge of building owners and building operators, but also in our case, like many other technologies, we are ahead of the curve, and we need to do a lot of knowledge creation, sharing information within the community that these sort of technologies and these sort of tools would help them to, with limited amount of even cost, with limited capex and opex that they need to invest, we are able to provide these sort of services to help them meet their sustainability goals, meet these tough local and state goals, and reduce their monthly bills. So that's something that I see that many commercial and industrial building owners, they are facing this rising energy cost, and they are facing these.
Especially this winter.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. They are facing these new rules, but there are limited knowledge about new tools and new technologies that they can leverage to achieve these goals, basically.
And so the payback period, I'm sure, enters the conversation at some point. Is it like solar in the sense that it's 20, 25 years, or is it like some other energy efficiency upgrades that a building owner can make that it's like 3 to 5, maybe 7, 10 years?
So because it's a software technology, that is not the case in our situation. So
Uh-huh.
for similar products in the market, not doing the exact same thing, but
Hmm.
some other energy management tasks, the
Hmm.
payback period is generally between 2 to 3 years
Okay. Yeah.
at
Yeah.
most. So
Hmm.
it is not that costly to invest in this type of technologies,
Hmm. Hmm.
and it's because it is trying to do most of these things in an automated way. It
Hmm.
leverage
Hmm.
technologies like AI.
Hmm.
There is less need of manpower and human resources to do these things. They just need to
Hmm.
monitor it once in a while, and this
Hmm.
is an automated tool. So it not only reduce energy costs, help them meet sustainability goals, but also
Hmm.
reduce the need for uh, a human resource to do energy management, which is another barrier for these type of buildings to manage and reduce their energy consumption. When I talk to a lot of building owners or facility managers, they may even have some technologies, but they don't have time, they don't have resources, they don't have enough knowledge to use these technologies. That's another barrier that I see.
And
Uh,
they don't have like a sustainability manager or
exactly,
in the C-suite to really be able to assist them.
exactly. Yes,
Yeah.
very few companies
Hmm.
have that sort of roles within their
Hmm.
management team.
Hmm. So then I'm finding that more corporate tenants have ESG sustainability, prior to January 20th, SEC mandates or, maybe federal mandates if you're looking to do business with the federal government just for sustainability and making these disclosures. I'm finding more corporate tenants have those requirements than actual building owners. Right. So is your customer the building owner or the corporate tenant or both? Because at the end of the day, it's the tenants that are using the energy in the buildings, not the building owner per se.
So what we have learned through our customer discovery was that the first target that we need to try to reach at is building owners that they own and operate the building,
Yeah.
because they
Hmm.
are the one that pay the bill, so they care about doing energy management. Actually, they are the ones that have a team of facility managers,
Hmm.
energy managers, and
Hmm.
even
Hmm.
sustainability managers, because
Hmm.
they are the one that feel the pain of paying the bills,
Hmm.
so they
Hmm.
care about this.
Hmm.
And of course, there are compared to all commercial buildings, there are very few within this
Hmm.
situation,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
we are trying to widen our market by being establishing partnership with some other energy companies that already uh, working with this type of buildings. So uh, we provide a solution that we enhance their existing solution and services to these buildings to provide more saving and help them more in achieving their sustainability goals.
Understood, understood. So my next question was, how do you overcome the split incentive, which is typically a challenge when you have tenants and owners and who's paying for the energy efficiency and who benefits and those types of things. But because you're dealing with building owner occupants, then there is no split incentive for the most part. Um,
Yes, that is
yeah,
actually the first and foremost reason that we find that it for us as a
one
startup.
less barrier, right?
Yes, exactly. For us as a startup company, it would be easier to start with these buildings because we don't face this type of issues. Who would pay and who
Yeah,
would
yeah.
benefit?
hmm and it sounds like these building owners are kind of understand. I mean, like I said, the our sector is the least digitized, and last year we focused on commercial buildings, ones that were being affected by the Maryland Climate Solutions Now Act, building energy performance standards, and just having professionals and thought leaders like Sina to be able to explain how. Uh, best practices from throughout the country and internationally, actually. But the thesis for last year is the building is the database, right? And the data is the new gold, right?
Yes.
And it sounds like you're very much in that stream of generating, collecting, and monetize. Well, not monetizing the data, but maybe there is a time where
Yes.
you and the building owner can monetize the data that the building's generated. Can you talk a little bit more about that and future monetization strategies?
Of course, yes. As you mentioned perfectly, many of these, even if they have building automation system or energy management system, and they collect a lot of data, this system uh, often they don't have any capability to analyze this data. And ultimately, as you mentioned, monetize it, whether through saving energy cost or finding opportunities to make some revenue out of the building technologies, like
hmm
doing
hmm
utility arbitrage or
hmm
participating in demand response programs, for example.
hmm hmm hmm
So at the very least, we are able to provide this sort of services by our software to these building owners and property managers so that they enhance, they have an enhanced service. They have an enhanced, uh, basically, I I would say more optimal and more technology-based buildings that they can advertise. And through having these technologies, they can increase their net operating income. They can increase the value of their properties
hmm hmm
because they are using this sort of data that, as you mentioned, data is in the new oil, data is the new uh, source of generating money. And there are a lot of data that already is collected, but no one is using them. And we're here to help.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So you talked a little bit about demand shifting for like lighting, heating, cooling. Are you using like occupancy sensors to control that? And I think the second part of the question, the Berkeley pilot, was that building conditioned on the weekends, or how does it work when it's not being occupied?
Uh, so as you know, accessing to the building occupancy data is very limited. Because
hmm
of the security issues. That is certainly one of the factors that can be included in our modeling and in our analysis. We didn't use that in our proof of concept here because we didn't have access to that data. But if we have, that would certainly enhance what we uh, have here in order to schedule the demand and try to shift or shed demand in order to reduce energy consumption. But
hmm
that is certainly one of the factors. Others could be operational needs, for example, maintenance issues, uh, weather conditions, temperature, solar, all these issues, and also electricity price. So for for areas that have time of use pricing, or they have significant change between for demand charge, off-peak, on-peak charges, and consumption charge. We consider all these factors in our scheduling engine.
Are you finding that your clients are really advocates of like environmental certifications? Are these buildings like LEED certified buildings or Energy Star certified buildings? Does your solution kind of help them get to that point if that's what they were trying to do?
Yes. So if so there, I would say there are, if we talk about LEED and Energy Star programs, I can say that we can provide different benefits to different group of these buildings. If they already passed the requirements and they got the certification, we could enhance their systems and technologies to further get saving and further get revenue out of their portfolio. But if they are not in that stage, we would certainly help them to reach to that stage by saving more energy. Some data that I have is that maybe every 10% energy saving, it would help the buildings to increase their energy star by 3 points. So by having more energy saving, we would help them to have more points and be certified for Energy Star program.
Yeah, I love Energy Star just specifically because it's a performance-based standard as opposed to some of the design-based standards that were given a plaque based on the design, the engineering, the plans, not based on how that building actually performs.
Yes, exactly.
Which can be a challenge. But some of the LEED, I'm talking about LEED, with their version 5 is becoming more of a performance-based
Yes.
standard, which I think is encouraging. One thing I didn't hear you mention, and I don't know if it's on the roadmap down the road or whatever, but I very much sit in the space of health and wellness of building occupants. As a because you can have the most energy efficient property, but if it's a sick building, that doesn't help anybody.
Yes.
So where does health and wellness, like indoor air quality monitoring, is that like on the roadmap, or is that just not your sector? Leave that to somebody else.
That is not our focus, at least at this stage,
Mhm.
but we can customize the solution based on the needs of the building owner or
Yeah.
property manager. So if that is one of the factors that they need us to consider in our all this holistic optimization, we will certainly be able to do that as long as we have the data and we have the setting to consider those factors.
That's a very interesting prospect because there are plenty of data and dashboards of real-time continuous air quality data coming in through third-party accredited monitors that if someone did decide they wanted to use your solution, it's not just for energy. They could use it for indoor air quality, maybe
Exactly.
water quality as well if they wanted to.
Exactly. Yes.
Wow, that's exciting. That's exciting. Okay, cool. Well, hey, Sina, this has been great. Is there anything that I didn't ask you that you're like, oh, I want to mention that before we close out?
Not that I think of. We pretty much covered everything that I wanted to. And again, thank you very much for having this opportunity for me
No,
to
I
present.
appreciate it. I appreciate it. I know you're a little under the weather, so I appreciate you making time. Hope you feel better.
Thank you.
By the way, I'm a huge Brooke Smallwood fan. Big shouts out to Brooke Smallwood. So when you see her, tell her I said, "What's up?"
Of course. Yes, sure.
All right, Sina, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. It was
Have a
great
good day.
meeting you.
All right, talk to you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.